Hey everyone, Alex here, and in this video, we're going to talk about the past, and not in a good way. And the reason for that is simply because the past is not conducive to feeling good in the moment and feeling good about the future. Because if you think about it, a lot of the times when you think about the past, well, you don't always think about the positive things that happened in the past. Usually you just think about, well, I don't know what you think about, but me, when I look back and I think about things and it's called rumination, right? You ruminate about things that's happened in the past. And honestly, I'm guilty of that because I keep thinking about things that have happened to me in the past, and it just messes me up because like I can be in a moment, like with people at the gym, in like just walking in the street, or even at home or on my computer. It's literally like I would have moments where I would just think about something and forget about my surroundings. I would just completely forget where I'm at, what I'm doing, and then I would come out of these thoughts and realize that it's been like 10 minutes since I've been thinking about this one thing. And then the most incredible thing about all this is that a minute later, I forget about what I thought about before. So I just wasted 10 minutes of my life thinking about something that I don't remember at all. So for me, it's a problem, and I've struggled for a long time to kind of like get through that and to really like conquer that kind of thing that's been bothering me, right? Like thinking about things that bother me in the present as well. And I think everyone can understand that, right? You don't want to think about people you don't like. You don't want to think about things that happen that are negative. It's like if you go on, if you have this presentation, you do a presentation, and then it's something like it goes super well, right? It goes super well, but there's like one or two things in those moments where you kind of like you think that you made a mistake, or that something kind of like bothered you about the way you said something or whatever, right? Like this happens to me when I speak to people sometimes. And also in my work, like when I do work, honestly, like I always look back and like, oh, that thing, maybe I should change that thing, or maybe that wasn't the right decision at that moment. Well, that's a big problem, and simply because you don't want to waste time looking back on things that, well, like you've already decided on. So I've gotten really, really good at actually conquering that, because when there's something in my life that I don't like, I really try to like remove it. So here's how I conquered that. So how does this apply to your life? I mean, do you also think about things in the past where you kind of like look back on it, or it just makes you feel bad, or if you have just a crappy moment with like friends or family, and you have something on your mind, it's weighing on you, and maybe that's affecting your mood, and maybe that's making you anxious. Maybe you had an exam and you're thinking about it, and you're just worrying like, oh, that question, maybe I should have answered it another way, or all these things, right? We all go through these things, and we honestly we all don't want to. So here are my tips for actually getting through this and not like thinking about the past. So how do you stay in the present? As simple as this. When you're in the present, well, everything is just more awesome. So as you're watching this, maybe you're feeling in the present with me, we're having a moment together, and you have a bunch of moments like these in your life where you just really feel good about what you're doing. Like, let's say you're doing something you enjoy, like you're playing a game you enjoy, you're texting with someone that you enjoy, or you're spending time with someone you enjoy, and you're just like, you're feeling like in the moment. You know what I mean? Like you're really in it, and you're not thinking about anything else. You're 100% there. Well, in those moments, sometimes it's good to kind of know that being in those moments is actually a good way to, being in those moments is a good way to feel good about yourself. And when you're there, well, you can really like look around and be like, wow, I'm having a really good moment right now, and it's because I'm in the moment, right? I'm not thinking about the past, I'm not thinking about the future. And when you're actually in that specific state of mind and you actually realize that you're in that state of mind, and you keep staying in that state of mind, it is the most blissful experience you could ever experience, ever. And you know this because you've experienced a bunch of them. Maybe you're not aware or conscious of it while it was happening, but the times that you're in the moment is just the best times ever. So that's how you not go back to the past and think about the past and all that. But what happens when you're actually in those moments where you're thinking about the past and you're not in the moment? And you feel like, honestly, for me, I feel like I'm stuck in the past sometimes. I mean, I think about something and then it's like I loop it around in my head over and over and over, like I was talking about before. So in those moments, what happens, what I do now is I let go of those moments. So while I'm thinking about this thing, right, I see it like a circle, right? Like it's like a circle of past thoughts, okay, that I'm looping around, that I'm just thinking about these thoughts. And then that circle, I just kind of just let it go and die out. And it eventually dies out. So instead of consciously saying, okay, so now that I just thought about this thing, I should think about the next thing. And now that I have this breakthrough, what does that mean for other things? And when I'm thinking about that thing, well, maybe that means something else, and I'm actively thinking about it, right? It's almost like it's like a hamster and running the wheel or whatever. So when you're not, right? When you're not thinking that, it's a blissful state. When you are thinking about the past, well, it's not a blissful state anymore. So when that happens, you let go of it, right? So it's happening, and instead of putting effort into keeping that thought alive, the past thoughts alive, you just kind of like, you distance yourself from them. So they're happening, right? And then instead of adding extra thoughts, you just kind of, you clear your mind, you say nothing, right? And maybe the next thought will come, and maybe anxiety will come, or you'll feel down or whatever. But even when that happens, just ignore it, right? Just go, okay, well, that's making me anxious. Wow. Okay, and it might make you anxious for a little bit, but the way that to make it fizzle out, to make those past thoughts fizzle out, is for you just to calm down about it, right? You calm yourself, and even though it's happening in your mind, you calm. So this, I try to make it really like a clear picture for you, but this is obviously like a thought pattern, which is kind of difficult to incorporate insert into your mind, but it's as simple as that. It's all about, to simplify it, okay? When you get caught up in these past loops, when you're thinking about past situations, past conversations, past situations, pretty much it globes everything. So when you're thinking about those, just let them fizzle out. Okay, just ignore them, right? They might happen, but just ignore them. Okay? And you see all these sciences about mindfulness and psychology, positive psychology, and all these things. And personally, meditation is another one, yoga, and I don't want to hate on those, because obviously those are awesome practices, right? If you meditate, if you practice mindfulness, I'm basically talking about mindfulness. But those sciences, right? They try to complicate things that are actually really, really simple. And instead of thinking about all different poses and techniques, and maybe it's the scent of the room, maybe it's the music, maybe I should listen to guided meditation from some guy or some girl. And instead of focusing on all that, maybe it's my environment, maybe I should change my work environment, maybe it's the people I hang out with. Instead of worrying about all that, you can just worry about this simple thing. If you're in the moment, everything is awesome. And if you're not in the moment, you're either thinking about the past or the future. So in this video, we were talking about the past. I'll make another video about if you're thinking about the future too much, you think about all these different avenues of the future, and you want to get to a place, but you don't really know where to get there. That's a whole other video. But in this video, I hope that I was able to actually solve a problem that some of you may have. Maybe you're just always awesome, and you always think about just the present, and everything just goes smoothly. And I wish that on every single one of you. So if you happen to be like me and that's not the case, then I hope I was able to help. So as usual, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.